All right, everyone. Welcome back to another great episode of Bass Cast Radio. I'm your host, Brian Carter, and joined to me with my co-host tonight, Thomas Aarons is in the house again, guys. Bass Geek is at the beach. He's on tour. He is enjoying the summer, what is left of it. The dog days of summer are starting to wind down a little bit around here, Thomas. That's the best. We got hey, teased a little bit last week with some really, really nice weather right here in Central Virginia, but the humidity has come back and so has the rain. But we're ready for another great week of bass fishing right here in Central Virginia. What's up in your world, Thomas?
Dude, not much, man. I am living the dream, just cranking out content and sending out job applications. I think I'm up to 88 job applications sent out. So hopefully, when I hit 100 job applications, we will have a party. It'll be a very
Woo!
low budget party, but we will all have a party.
That is awesome. Content. I mean? You're pumping it out. You're still dropping the hits every single week. I know you said you got a bunch in the queue.
Yeah, we are. I'm doing this something every year. I have something new I want to do. This year, it's branching into North Carolina and the Chesapeake Bay, and because we're in like that weird tournament summertime lull, this is a great time. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be the time of year I'm gonna do the Chesapeake Bay, and so I had the tarpon episode, which was fun. I had an episode with the Department of Wildlife Resources talking about the snakehead and the catfish in the bay. That one's up to I think 5,000 views, like 4 or 5,000 downloads on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio as well. Doing really well. And next week we have a Manhattan episode talking about the omega-3, which is a $1 billion industry that is harvesting fish out of the bay. So that's going to be a fun episode,
Oh,
along with
that's cool.
Upper James River biology report dropped on Monday, which was really cool. Going from the Jackson River, just sampling the whole river down to Richmond, which was a lot of fun. Just trying to mix it up as much as I can.
All right, so there you guys go. Make sure you guys check out Fishing the DMV. If you guys are not watching the YouTube, there's where you can find all the videos, the podcast, you name it, from Thomas Aarons, everyone. Yeah, like it's quiet around here. I mean, next week it is the 2-day BFL on the James River, so we'll have that. And then I ain't gonna lie, you guys, I have not looked at. I know what is it? Rivers and Roads is coming up in September, up that way. I know I haven't really seen yet if 94.9 Star Country is doing their event this year. So we're getting into a lot of these big events as well as like hosted big events. So because the Rivers and Roads and the 94.9 Star Country are very big events and pay out a lot of money, by the way. So if you've never fished either one of these, you need to sign up, subscribe. We've been showing it, posting, sharing. Also, I think there's about 2 more, whatever it is, left in August, events left for the Liberty University Bass Fishing Club. So if you haven't signed up yet or shown up to fish one of their events, all money goes to help support the LU Bass Fishing Team. So come on out. I think they had 12 teams this past weekend, 9 weekend for that. Let's have a good showing, guys. Let's get this thing up to like 24, 25 teams and show them, sorry, guys, allergies kicking my butt, and show them that we support our local colleges. And, guys, you have a chance of winning money on top of that. So come on out and support them. Guys, we just wanted to kind of talk. We kind of talking to Thomas prior show, we kind of scrolled through social media and we kind of looking for some things and some points and all that good stuff. And you guys, we know Trey McKinney won this past week, the Bassmaster event. Dude, he crushed it. What, 95 pounds?
Killed it.
I mean, he almost broke the 100-pound mark on this lake. I mean, something that's not heard of. And yes, he did, as others complain, he used the box. And he has gone back to calling it the box. But yeah, I mean, congratulations to him. What a great tournament. The kid can't even buy beer yet, and he's won 2 Bassmaster Elite events. And after, he's now, I think, tied for Angler of the Year. So if he has a great showing next week, the dude got a chance to win Angler of the Year. I mean, we're talking about Angler of the Year, 2 events, a couple classics, and we got a KVD. Okay, here comes the grenades. But we got a new young KVD on our hands. I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, if you guys look at the stats, I mean, the dude is amazing. I mean, I understand that, everybody's going to blame it on forward facing sonar, but, a lot of these posts that I was reading on social media, I put up a video, a lot of someone else's, thank you to them. And a lot of you guys talked about, I mean, the dude was taking money at 11, 12, 13 years old and winning tournaments. So he knows how to fish. They gave him I mean, they gave him a device and it helps more. I don't know how to say it. I mean, go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's 100%. I mean, I think it. I'll keep saying this till the cows come home, and then I've also offered this on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. If you'd like to come on the show and have a friendly chat about any of this stuff, I would love to. I was on the debate team in college, and I kind of miss not having one of those nice little professional and cordial discussions like that in that debate format. So if you want to come on, Randy, anybody, and have that conversation, I would love to have it. I think it'd be fun. Again, we can do it live or pre-recorded, whatever you guys want to do. Doesn't matter. Name it. Because I feel like we're using forward-facing sonar if we get rid of forward-facing sonar, tournament fishing is saved, cancer is cured, Israel and Hamas will stop fighting, the world will be perfect. And I just feel like it's too simple because the world is complicated and it's always messy and there's 1,000 things. And if we set this up as and guess what? In politicians, and I hate all politicians, you guys know, left, right, whatever, they will promise a thing and say, like, if I just do this one thing, it'll work out. And if they do that one thing, then it doesn't work out. They're like, oh, well, let's go now blame something else. They set up these scapegoats. And do I think forward-facing sonar needs to have limits on it? Yes. But we've hyped this up to being this thing that if we just get rid of it, everything is fixed. And if we topple over that golden calf, what will happen when they realize that Kitech prices have still gone up by 20%? What happens when they realize that Trey McKinney has a family that's financially good enough to make sure that he got a good education?
Oh, yeah.
He was part of a high school program that was good. He was part of a college program that was really good. He's living in 2025 where he can use ChatGPT or a computer to look up any technique he wants. And then you're back to the old thing, like, oh shit, it's not the 1980s anymore. The bass fishing I knew is gone. How I looked up technology and information is gone. Yeah, I don't know. It's scary because you create these vitriol vacuums online, red versus blue, forward-facing sonar versus non-forward-facing sonar, very polarizing, and there is no end in sight. There is no reasonable conversation to be had.
So I grabbed a couple off here, guys, real quick, and this is just comments. I'm not mentioning anyone's names, by the way. He's damn good at what he does, but what would he be without the spotlight? As long as he's at bass, we may never know. And I don't understand where that would come from either, because I mean, I guess they're kind of saying if it wasn't for the Fox contract or if it wasn't any, or the lives that they do, Trey McKinney wouldn't be anywhere. But I mean, if you can catch fish, you can go anywhere. You can fish the NPFL, guys. I mean, I'll tell you this: if this got to be, and we've talked about this, if this got to be like a professional sport, where they were buying anglers and buying players and, just like teams, heck, I think anybody would write a fat check for Trey McKinney right now. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a high prospect. He would be, he would be like, football starting now, and we're in the preseason games and everything, talking schedules and everybody signing. This would be, a $5 million signing bonus right here for Trey McKinney. I mean,
and there's so much to it that's just fascinating with the fishing industry compared to other sports that we keep trying to use that. And, in the comment section down below, let me know your example with this. But I'm going to go back to baseball, my fail safe.
Mm-hmm.
When a pitcher gets older, unless you are a Tam Wakefield or a Jamie Moyer, you can see where it's like, my fastball has lost so much. My stats are showing me I'm not as successful right now. And therefore, you're not going to get the wins. And then your contract, you're not going to be able to demand the money because the team would be like, hey, listen, your performance on the bump has not been what it was. You had a 2.9 ERA. You're now up to a 6. You can't go deep into the 7th inning anymore. You're getting older.
Yeah.
In fishing, it's so weird because it's not necessarily about I don't even like your performance can be pushed longer because it's not just a physical gift. It's part of it is knowledge. Let's not,
Yeah.
it's knowledge. It's being on the tour a lot. It's having the rotation,
Going
and
to the
it's
same
all.
lakes every year.
Yep, and it's also the sponsorship thing.
Yeah.
If you have a General Tires sponsorship, some of these big name sponsorships that Edwin Evers, the now retired Skeet Reese, people like that have, you just have to be good enough to uphold your sponsorship obligations, and you're fine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's such a weird deal to have, to where now you have all these older fishermen, older individuals, and not just them. I'm not going to try to be ageist here, that are getting upset because you have these younger kids coming in. And I wonder, is it forward facing sonar, or is it something else where this is a weird time in fishing history where we have so many old guard leaving? We have so many people that are at the back end of their career, and you have the old guard of the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and then you have the Trey McKinney's coming up. I mean, it's very striated like that, which it's funny to look back and like, how many football players could have been playing in the 90s till now? None. How many baseball players could have a career from the 90s till now? Almost none. But we have fishermen. Iaconelli is an example off the top of my head. He fished in the 90s, and he's still going. Like,
so one guy wrote, give him a depth finder and a map of the place he is fishing. No, I don't think he is good. Take 4 FFS off his boat, and you will see. But like I said, I mean, the dude's catching fish and winning tournaments at 13 years old. I mean, come on, guys.
It is interesting when he says, like, give him a depth finder. It's like, forward facing sonar can tell depth, right?
Yes. They cry every time he starts kicking ass, and I hope that and pray he takes AOY away from the whole buzzard twins. My God. The kid is a natural, and he is one of the hardest working guys out there. And we've discussed that a lot on here, and how the younger generation have now, they've been lucky, or parents a lot of money, like Thomas just saying, that it is a job to them. It's a sport. It's a real freaking sport, like baseball. I mean, we go back to the baseball analogy. Baseball players play all season here, then go south and play there, and then come back and play here. I mean, it's a real sport. I mean, they train or whatever, and so I thought it was a great event. Congratulations to him. We're trying to get him on the show and talk to him, but I understand everybody's busy and kind of chilling. There's one more, like I said, guys, there's one more Bassmaster Elite event left, and it's going to be a nail biter on who's going to be Angler of the Year in 2025.
In scope on the inland oceans we have has always been perplexing to me, because you can go back. I think in one of my intros I did this, where you saw a Japanese angler and Edwin Evers using 2D sonar and dropping to fish on Lake Erie, staring at a depth finder. And now in 2026, you have people staring at a depth finder again, fish finder. The difference is the technology's upgraded, but they're in the middle of the ocean. What the hell do you want them to stare at? Just into the horizon? And perception is reality. I remember I did a live stream, like first, second live stream I had, and I had my graphs turned off because I was pitching and flipping. And I set my phone on one of the graphs so it's up front so I could read comments. And I'm just punching, and I'm looking down and answering comments. And I had hate because people were saying I was using forward-facing sonar.
Wow.
Because I was looking down to read the questions. Because my head was tilted down, that's all it takes. So what they don't want you to do is have your head tilted down. If your head is tilted up by about 8 degrees, you are considered a normal fisherman. If your head is tilted down a little bit, it's not. And that's what it comes down. That quite literally is what I think the whole debate comes down to when you look at somebody in a bass boat in a tournament. Is your head tilted by 8 degrees? If it is, you're a scoper. If it's not, but it's just fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. The psychology online with it.
So, guys, another thing I found, I was for some of you all who watched the debate this past week, I started watching it, fell asleep. Not gonna lie, it didn't come on like 8 o'clock our time, and it lasted 2 hours. It is now on YouTube. We're talking about the Slick Johnson debate with him and Boyd Duckett. And I got the pretty much the gist. The first hour, I don't know what they talked about the second hour, but I pretty much got the gist of the first hour. And they are talking about 1/3 of the day forward-facing sonar. I mean, they're talking about limiting it just like they are now in the Bass Pro Series, and it's going all the way down to like the the good gosh, guess it would be the Toyota Series, the Tackle Warehouse Series, and even the local derbies, the
I don't,
BFLs.
I don't know how you're gonna do it on the BFLs, and honestly, this happened with. I think it was some local events that a local writer up in our way did, where there were a couple of events that were no live scope. You're not allowed to have live scope, and the events were just put on for that, and they had a decent turnout, but it wasn't what they wanted for all the events. And again, if I'm
Right.
misquoting, let me know in the comment section. And so they wrote about it, and some people were like, "Yeah, I just didn't want to take it off my boat. I didn't want to do this and this, and if I couldn't use live scope, I didn't want to show up." And that created a firestorm because there were people online that wanted to make it that you mandatory had to show up for these events.
Oh wow.
It is just, and I use it because it's just wild that we're getting into some weird ass like Tatarian stuff where you have to now, they want to push this so hard they're going to go into your house, grab you, and force you to throw these events. Because let's say BFLs do outlaw scope, just go with it.
Throwing it out there.
What is the desired outcome?
Yeah.
Is it okay? It's all the co-anglers will just be coming over the ridge like Lord of the Rings and just running to the docks to be back, and that's fantastic. What if a lot of guys that have scope and invested don't want to fish those tournaments anymore? Now on the Potomac, I don't think it matters. I think that who cares? They don't care. But a Cherokee, Smith Mountain Lake, certain times of the year, would people be like, screw this, I'm not gonna fish this tournament? Where scope does play, scope gives you an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
What if more co-anglers show up, but then no boaters show up?
Well, yeah. So that was the next thing, guys. They talked about the participation, and even guys, I'm even talking about this week coming up. I reshared a post that someone wants to fish that 2-day event on the James River, and they don't have enough co-anglers. So numbers are down this year. We know it everywhere. It's we don't know what to blame. Everybody's looking for something to blame, I guess. But it's just one of the things where I don't know if it's a baby drama mama or everybody's kind of tired of the drama, kind of just letting it just kind of fizzle
Also,
and maybe come back, or if it really is the forward-facing sonar. I mean, you guys all know that the local derbies pretty much for the BFLs, all the BFLs, excuse me, went to 3 fish for the co-anglers. So you only have to catch 3 from the back of the boat. So you can't blame it. I didn't get the last 2 because my angler at the front of the boat was using forward-facing sonar. So you only have to catch 3 now.
I would also be interested to see how the polls are given out, because polling is such a weird thing, whether it's for politics, life, whatever you want to do, about who will actually answer the poll and how the polls are structured. If it's just 2 answers, like was it scope or is it because you're poor?
Damn.
Like, let's just say it's that. How many people are actually going to answer, "Oh yeah, I'm poor now," or "I lost my job," versus just blame live scope and be done with it? If you put other on the poll, I wonder how much that would shift it. Is it because of live scope? Is it because of money? Or is it because of another reason? And how many people would pick that as just a cop-out answer? Like, I don't know. It's like, that's another variable when doing polls. Like, are you actually picking forward-facing sonar because you believe it, or it's the cool thing to do and you don't want to tell the real reason is because of something else that's going on in your personal life?
So, we kind of wonder what 2026 is going to bring. I know it's getting close to the end of the year. We still have a couple months left. There's still a bunch of regionals, and everybody's trying to get qualified for the 2026 All-American, one of the coolest events ever for BFL for the BFL anglers. I mean, I think you take home a boat and like a crap load of money and a nice trophy, and you really are fishing against the best of the All American. So I mean, it's a lot of events left and people qualify for that, but it still just makes you kind of scratch your head and wonder are we gonna just see what we've talked about a lot? Professional fishing move into a professional fishing sport, and the BFLs and all will still be the feeder system, but it won't be this. I don't know. I don't, minor league of fishing. I don't know, AAA of fishing. Well, can we get rid of a few of these different? I mean, I know I saw Toyota Series schedule came out, ain't nothing being gotten rid of. But I
Shocking.
mean, it's get rid of one of these divisions right here and kind of help out the other. I don't know what to do. I really don't. I don't know how we're looking down the road and how we can keep the same same entry fee for the most part, same payout, but $150,000 boat, $1,000 rods and reels combos, and that's on the cheap end. For most time, professionals are using those. I just don't see how we can sustain this movement at this point when fewer and fewer anglers are signing up. The payouts are going to be so low pretty soon. They're already complaining now at the BFL. I won $2,000 on a 125 angler event.
And what I would really like to do is run a scientific experiment. And maybe I'll ask Brian from the Basscast to do this one time. Just a scientific experiment of we just run a boaters catch photo release tournament and just to see if anyone shows up. Because my hypothesis is I think things are changing a little bit where if you just say it's like $50, you go out, you have to have a boat and a board, of course, and you just pick a Saturday, Sunday, go out there. How many people would go? Because it's very kind of convenient. You don't meet up or whatever. You just show up, drop your kids off at daycare or whatever, go fish for a couple hours, be done. Because I just, and something in my gut saying like, there's such an ease of it. I know it's not a perfect format, but if you're a working guy with a family or whatever, and you still want to scratch the itch, but you can't spend this money, it's very cost effective. And it just seems like when you look at Tourney X, Fishing Chaos, there's a shit ton of tournaments out there that are going on right now. But if you just talk to Randy Blockett, you would say like tournament fishing is dead. And I feel there's a disconnect there with everything, which is, it's fascinating to me.
So guys, we're going to finish up this. We'll probably talk a little bit more here, but for you guys that don't watch, Get Your Fish On, the video series on YouTube, please. My boy there is amazing. Great stats, does a lot of hard work. I've got to meet him many, many times. I was watching his video as well today, and he reached out to Joe with Major League Fishing, and he got some numbers and some stats for the haters. They're stats though. So, but this is what Major League Fishing said, and this is their Bass Pro Series, everybody. All right, so category 1, FFS on, was 13,642 pounds of fish, 5,431 bass caught. Category 2 was FFS on and used 11,075 pounds, 4,358 bass caught. And the final category, FFS completely turned off, 28,575 pounds, 11,553 bass caught in 2025. Now, I understand it's kind of hard to do the part about, unless you're like watching and he's got the 8 degrees like Thomas was talking about earlier, and counted. Okay, he was looking at forward facing sonar and he caught it. I guess that's how they counted that he was using FFS and, or that he just had it on. I know now with the new technology, they can see what's going on. They can see if your system's on. They can see what you're doing. It's crazy because, we've seen that double view on some of the lives that we watched this year where they've shown the scanner, the depth finder on, FFS on, and then we've seen the angler. So
what do you think the point of gathering that data was, in your opinion? Was there a reason they think they specifically did it?
Yeah, I think with the new format, they kind of want to say prove maybe that the format is working. That that you're still catching a lot more fish, even though it is kind of weird because you can only have the FFS on for one period out of the three.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Yeah. So I mean,
So it's not a 1-for-1,
no.
which is the problem with the data point. Is if there's 3 periods and 2 you're allowed to do one thing, and then you're like your data in the end's like, hey, listen, this thing works. Like, yeah, that's faulty information, is it not?
Yeah. So it really does make you think about this. So if you gave me FFS and decided to use it for one period, I would go out, mark all my fish, catch a bunch of fish, and then I'd go back to my spots the second and third period because I've already marked them.
And I think to reiterate that, could you make that point again? How many fish were caught with forward-facing sonar?
All right, here we go. So with forward-facing sonar on, but not used, 5,431 bass. With FFS on and used, 4,358 bass.
Now, what is interesting with that is
1,100 difference almost.
1,100 difference. But when they said forward-facing on but not being used, what does that mean? What does that
Yeah,
mean?
you kind of, like I said, the only thing I can think of myself, and we could get Joe on, and that would be cool. Get Joe on and get him to
Absolutely.
get hit. Yeah, that would be awesome to get Joe on. I know Joe would come on and really get how that number was actually taken. I mean, were they looking down the whole entire time, so they just counted every fish when they were looking down, or I don't know.
Because it's like if it's on but it's not being used, do you mean like you saw the fish strike the bait?
Yeah,
Because that's a fun conversation to be had where, okay, I know a lot of people that are good with scope. They don't see every fish that strikes with scope, but they
right,
use the data to let them know that the fish are around. You can scan the point and see it's loaded and be like, oh, I'm going to stay here because it's good. Technically, yeah, you didn't see the fish with scope, but if it wasn't for scope, it influenced your opinion about what to do next. If
right,
that makes
right.
sense.
Yeah, I mean, I know I didn't watch every major. I can't watch every major league fishing event. I wish I could. And there's probably a lot of people out there that can. Congratulations to you. But I did see some events where they were using it the third period. Using it the second period to find them for the third period. So I mean, it is. Me and Thomas talked about this earlier. It is really cool that they're evolving, that they're changing, and that they are making some good decisions. I think it adds a lot more strategy to it. And Thomas brought up earlier the Banana Mana series. What is it? Banana.
Now you're gonna make me Google it. Dang it! Hold on. Banana.
We had Danielle
Is
here.
Savannah banana.
Banana. And how crazy they made that, and how many people are watching, and how crazy it is. The guys out there dancing around, and all the crazy rules, and they're filling up stadiums left and right just because someone decided to make a few changes, implement a few things that were a little different. And I hate to say it, put
It's
in a little bit
entertaining.
more. It's interesting, and they put in a little bit more extra work. Do you guys
Thank you.
know?
I like the way you worded that. Yep, they put in a little extra work. Yeah.
Do you guys know? And this has pissed me off about a lot of this year. I traveled to a bunch of events where the anglers don't show back up. They
Mm-hmm.
don't show that for the fans. They don't show up for that. You guys want to know why there's a disconnect? Your people. I mean, that you have fishing with you. I know they pay, so they feel that they don't have to come back because it's a paid sport, and it's not the other way around where I'm actually writing you a check to be there for 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours. But the extra time that they've put into Savannah Banana, I'm not saying Major League Fishing needs to go crazy and make some crazy shit like they do, but that extra time right there, they sign autographs for like the first hour before everybody walks in. People out there getting autographs. The owner stays behind till every autograph signed.
It,
He
it
will.
is.
He will
simple
sign
stuff,
everything.
simple stuff that
Simple. It's
that
not like rocket science.
he tells everybody. And guys, again, business 101, listening to him in interviews is really good if you're trying to start your own business. Like the little things, like he doesn't try to recruit just baseball players. You have to, can you dance? Are you willing to sign autographs? Are you willing to be a showman? That's what he's looking for to be on his team, or be part of his social media group. Like the guy, like, okay, there was a guy, the Stilts guy, and this will be the last example. He was a decent baseball player, but his thing was he was willing to try to do more stuff on stilts, and he hits with 8-foot stilts. And what my point is with getting with that is he understands the formula of being a TV program. It's not just about a sport winning and losing. It's about the fans and the fan interaction. And he got that. And if fishing wants to expand, I think Boyd is kind of onto something there when he talks about we have to become a better TV product.
Right.
And I don't disagree with that. Like if you want to expand and have non-endemic dollars come in, you're going to have to change the formula, crack the formula to get people in.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Eventually, somebody will crack the code on what that fishing formula is that does that. But will that final product, the one that actually gets the non-endemic sponsors, will that be something that the old school fishermen want?
Or just like I talked about the basscast.com many a times, I tried to implement many things on the website and I was just too early. I really was. A demographic, you know, I was looking at my numbers and looking at Google Analytics and all that good stuff that we look at. And we're still, you know, they're 50 to 60-year-olds, but this was 15 years ago. So they weren't used to some of the new stuff coming out. So I had to dial it back. And with Trey McKinney that we have now, and a lot of these young anglers, and, you know, I mean, Jacob Wheeler, congratulations to him winning Angler of the Year again. I mean, congratulations to him, you know, and just all these. It's just, I think with them cutting it back, the 51 anglers, they now have the 51 best anglers in the world. Everybody's going to get a paycheck. I don't know, I don't know how, I can't remember how they're going to break it all down. But, you know, it's the 51, and it's a great product that they're going to be offering. And the only thing left, in my opinion, is it becoming a household name.
Mm-hmm.
And will it become a household name? That's, you know, that's where we're at with Major League Fishing. And that's across, that's Bassmaster, NPFL, Major League Fishing, the Basscast, Fishing the DMV, you name it. We're still a niche. And are we going to make it a name, you know what I'm saying? A big, huge brand. And will it become baseball, basketball, football, soccer, bass fishing, tennis, golf?
And the scope is an interesting litmus test, I think, for this to an extent where, in theory, let's just placate. Let's say scope did create more buzz in the fishing world. But as we've seen, the core base audience, a lot of them are upset about that. And they like, well, this is not pure fishing. Okay, what if Boyd Duckett told everyone next year, at the end of every quarter, you have to do a dance routine, everyone, and the dancing winner gets an extra couple points, and it literally just quadruples views. But then Randy Blockett comes in and said, like, this is terrible, this is not good for fishing. Okay, but if that tweak literally brought in Budweiser to sponsor, is that good for the sport? It's interesting because it is such a weird thing. Is do you alienate the people from 200 years ago? Guys, I keep doing this baseball. Baseball has not changed in about 500 effing years. And then they complain that like, oh, we're not what we used to be. It's like, well, yeah, exactly.
The only thing baseball changed, which has been good, was the timer that they put on the from the pitch to the catcher. And that pitch count, and they tried to shorten the game down from the 3 hours it used to be. I'm not sure what it is now. It's like 2.5 or something like that hours. They did shrink it down to a baseball game because they said it was way too long.
Well, and then the other thing is, but then in Europe, you can have a soccer game that goes 6 hours and people like it. And it's a culture. But then also, soccer has like 5 games a year, and baseball has 280. And so, and there's a whole thing. Because I think playoff baseball is like the shit. It's the coolest thing ever. It's great. Every game matters. it's suspenseful. You can go 3 or 4 hours without a playoff game. Like when you have those do or die Red Sox Yankees back in the day. Oh, those are good. Those Red Sox Yankee playoff games way back when. That's I'm having some nostalgia for that. Anyway,
Oh my
back to
gosh,
fishing.
there we go. So back
yeah.
to fishing, but yeah, so I mean, you know, we're hoping for good things in 2026. We don't want to keep harping on this, but you know, it is a lot of talk already and a lot of conversation about 2026. And you know, I don't even know what the hell title this damn thing, Thomas, because last week is the year of the blah, and I don't know, you know, and this year it's this gonna be, you know, is it really a time, and are we gonna see a shift in tournament bass fishing? Are we really gonna see where the older guys just say, "Hey, I'm done," and it becomes a real professional sport where it really gets marketed? I mean, I know it's they say, I don't know, they say it's doing extremely well on Fox. You ask other people, say there's no way in hell that's, you know, you it kind of does make you wonder about this, guys. It really does when they talk about the viewership on Fox. And I want to bring this up really quick for you guys. And let's go over here. So they talk about the millions of people who watch bass fishing. If you go to the social media of bassmaster.com right now, they have exactly 1 million followers. If you take on an average of 10% that are actually watching that to maybe 20, what's that? Maybe 200,000 people are actually watching Fox. And then you talk about this crazy viewership. Where are these people coming from?
They're lying about their numbers. And this is when I say this, everyone listening, this is not a knock on bass.
No, we're not knocking bass at all. We're just confused.
I'm going to let you in a little secret here. If for everyone that just grew up, corporations lie. And I don't care if it's Bass, the company you work for, Citgo, Verizon, every number lies about their Q4, Q3 earnings, everything. It's the nature of the business. Netflix lies about their numbers. Disney lies about all their numbers. Everyone lies about their numbers. No one is honest. So this idea that no company's ever going to come out and say like, hey, we're doing like shit. Yeah, this is messed up. No one's going to say that. Of course they're going to say their numbers are great because that's just the nature of corporate America. And you have to understand that. And that's why they put it. The reason they put it behind a paywall like that is so they can, one reason is so they can have flexibility with how they tell their numbers. YouTube is public. You guys can go to Brian's channel, Bass Geek's channel, or my channel. You know how many views we get. You know how many subs we have. It's just, it's public information. Fox isn't. You know, all these TV deals are not.
So if you add up Major League Fishing and Bassmaster, it's 1.5 million social media followers. The biggest, you know, that and then, you know, YouTube and all that stuff. Where are we coming up with these numbers? I mean, Slickett did a whole entire video talking about it. And, you know, that really does make you say, I mean, are these just regular people? I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I have a couple people at work that will say, hey, a Sunday morning, nothing was on TV. I know you do the bass fishing thing. And on Fox, bass fishing was on. And I was sitting there eating breakfast watching. Something that, you know, I don't watch on a regular, but it's Sunday morning. There's no baseball, there's no basketball, there's no football until lunchtime.
And that's such a dumb thing too, because I think that's antiquated. It's like, hey, listen, who was the chick part of the marketing department? It's like, you know what? Outdoors people that are usually busy on the weekends being outdoors. What if we put the outdoor program in the morning when they would be away from the TV?
Yeah.
That's the most brilliant thing ever.
So we got a lot of questions. We love for your thoughts. We love for your answers. I mean, like I said, we just kind of picked a few things hitting social media and the internet right now, and thought we'd bring up and give our 2 cents and opinions on them. But you guys all know opinions are like assholes, and I've heard that many, many times. And we love to hear your opinions. So publish in the comments section below on this podcast, whether you listen on iTunes, Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, go YouTube, iHeartRadio. There's many places that you can go and listen to Thomas and I's podcast. So, but guys, really appreciate you all tuning in, listening tonight. Don't forget, next week we will be on the road. Excited to be heading to the James River, get to hang out there. By Thomas, here's the 50-50. Is it going to rain again? It's every tournament on the James River. It either is like pouring down, lightning, thundering rain, and then the next week it is 900 degrees and beautiful and sunny. Maybe we can find a middle ground for this 2-day event coming up, and we can see some big old bass wade in on the James River. So excited about that, and excited about what's left in the 2025 season. And one thing before I do leave, I know the fall is coming around the corner. I've seen some fall schedules already come out. Media at thebasscast.com. If you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, or Virginia, those 3 states, if you'd like to be a part of thebasscast.com and get your schedule on there, email it to me. I'll get them up on the website and help you promote your event that you're hosting. And guys, I get thousands, it's no lie, thousands of people a week hitting that schedule because they want to know what's going on. So I created it. You can be a part of it. It's free, but it's up to you. So if you want to grow, come be a part of the basscast.com. Thomas, any parting words real quick before we roll out tonight?
You guys know the deal. If you guys want to, I'm still cranking out content left and right. If you guys would like to support me on Patreon, I'm going to keep the Patreon open for a couple more weeks before I shut her down. Just to try to get a few more people greedily just to help me out, pay my mortgage. I'm looking for a job. I know there were some haters online saying like, well, just go work, man. It's like, I'm trying as fast as I can. Might have to set up an OnlyFans. Who knows? But we're going to do what we can.
People got to understand it's crazy. I mean, I know I don't get into politics, but there is a difference. There's a shift. He's educated. I'm not educated. He's smart. I'm barely smart.
Well, let's see. You're employed. I'm not. So who's the smart one?
I could be unemployed in seconds. I mean, you never know. We're in Virginia. It's a right to work state. So, but there is a thing. You can go to work and make $12 an hour and barely pay anything. So, I mean, it's kind of this differential. But I don't know. We're hoping that Thomas gets a job really, really quick, or not. We need you guys to blow his channel up. Hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, hit the share button, hit share like the Basscast does. Get the word out there, and make some comments under his podcast so it takes off. He's already a top podcast right here in Central Virginia. He's bigger than we are. I ain't gonna lie, dude's huge. So let's make him even bigger. Appreciate you guys all listening, and we'll see you again right back here on Basscast Radio.